Yo, what is going on, you grimy Grimstone? Coming at you with some Firebox gameplay today. Now, I know it's not like a super new, updated deck with the new set coming out, but there are a couple new changes, and one really big one, of course, is that Eldegoss V. That's the one thing that I think I'm going to for sure stick with the deck, or stick with keeping in the deck, because it's just so good in here, and I've gotten so much value out of it. There's a couple things that I'm kind of trying out right now, which is kind of like the Cramorant, the Devolvi. Not sure how I feel about this guy in here. And Tool Scrapper, but Tool Scrapper is pretty good right now because everyone plays tool cards, and stuff like Big Charm and the what's that other thing called, Metal Frying Pan are really good right now. So being able to stop our opponent from being able to utilize those things, reduce that HP, or just stop them from having no fire resistance, or no fire weakness, is pretty good up against Zacian decks. And yeah, besides that, the rest of the deck is a pretty straightforward Firebox list. I initially worked with the winner of Limitless Qualifier 2 to make this list, and it's been working out pretty well. Like I said, I'm unsure about Dubwool and Cramorant. Cram's been pretty good. Dubwool, haven't had enough playtime with him, but let's go ahead, let's get some in, and let's see if we can can't get any value out of him. Okay, lost a coin flip in this initial one, but that's fine. We actually want to choose to go second, and yeah, I'm assuming my opponent's going to want to go first. Yeah, we actually want to choose to go second as Firebox. Just get that first hit in, usually with the Heatran, or set up some energy with a Victini V. Kind of just depends on what we draw, how we're feeling, what the situation looks like. So we got a Dedenne, got a Cramorant. This is a pretty good hand to Dedenne away, and then and then Victini V with afterwards. But we'll see what our opponent's playing, and then decide what we want to do from there. There's a Dedenne. Here comes a Quick Ball, getting rid of a Lightning, probably Pikarom or Toxtricity or something like that. We're probably going to Victini V here, because hitting a Dedenne for 130 damage with a Heatran turn 1, that's not it. So yeah, we're going to probably look to use Victini V immediately. I do want to kind of keep Cramorant around, but I don't want to bench it, so I'm probably just going to Dedenne change the Cramorant away. Unfortunately, just have to give him up immediately. KOing something with like a Dedenne with it or something is pretty nice, but I don't want to leave it on my board. It is weak to lightning, so it could be a quick, easy 2 prizes for my opponent. I want to make them work a little bit harder for their prize cards if I can. Yeah, there's some E switches. This is definitely a Pikarom double lightning already set up in the discard pile for the Coco Prism, so they're off to a okay turn 1. They really want to find that energy attachment to the Pikarom here if they can, or it could be some kind of Boltund deck, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's an E-Radar. Pretty sure it's probably just a Pikarom. Whoa, down 4 lightning energy here. That's a lot of lightning energy to go down. Very soon I might just not have to be scared of Tag Bolt at all. Getting another Dedenne and a Pikarom, so a third Dedenne gonna come into play almost for sure next turn. They had a lot of energy in hand. Holy moly! All right, Skateboard active is great. Gonna quick ball away the Cramorant and grab myself that Victini V. I think I might just discard all 3 of these, because it's possible I don't draw another way to discard energy on the other side of this Dedenne change. So we're just gonna go like this, discard those. Yeah, we drew a fire. Oh, we drew a welder. Oh, we drew a Heatran. We literally drew absolutely everything. Let's go with, we do play 2 Heatran, so I'm not really too scared of putting a Heatran in play. Let's go ahead and welder to the Heatran. Another welder, a Pokegear, a Dedenne, looking good. Quick ball, give us some more options on the next turn. We could quick ball right now for a I kind of like this, get a Vulpix here. The second Heatran's in the deck. Yeah, we are off to a ridiculously strong start. Also, I just kind of want another basic in play that I can work off of for this Spreading Flame, because we want to spread our energy out. It's very possible that our opponent would get to kind of knock out whatever they want here. You know, they have a Dedenne, we know they're using that for the draw power. If they get Coco Prism, and then they get you know, a Boss's Orders, they could just, like, you know, Boss's Orders up the Heatran, even just GX attack. We put all of our energy there, take out 5 energy. It's definitely worth the trade-off of not using like a fully powered Tag Bolt to do that. There's a Volkner. It looks like they're probably just gonna go for, if I had to guess, I'm gonna guess right here, Stadium Nav, basic energy, look to get that full, but they could also get Quick Ball here and get rid of that last card in their hand, whatever this one, and then get the Coco Prism as well. We'll see what they grab. Almost definitely grabbing a I would assume Stadium Nav, but they might not play the Stadium Nav. I know some people don't play it. We'll see what they grab here with their Volkner. The one thing I mentioned, they're down a lot of energy, so I'm not really in a big threat of getting it Tag Bolted, which is kind of feels to be okay. It is a quick ball, so again, that Cocoa Prism does feel like it is kind of like the comeback, or the thing that I'm ever scared of in this matchup from Pikarom is Tag Vault. Giving up another Lightning Energy. What do they have in hand? An E-Power. They're really valuing that E-Power over an Energy Attachment for turn. There's a Speed Energy, so they're not going to get punished for it yet. But sheesh, man, they are really valuing holding on. I'm pretty sure that E-Power had to be that one card in their hand they chose to hold over the basic energy. They really want to get this full Blitz knockout on my Victini. Yeah, wow. All right, yeah. That is a ton of value being put into that E-Power there. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, so I could have actually knocked out this Jirachi with Heatran last turn. I was talking about how I didn't want to like punch it to Dene for 130. We didn't end up doing that. We still want to make sure we just one-shot the Pikarom when it comes up. If we had attacked with Heatran with 3 energy, we do get the knockout on the Jirachi, which is great. But then, you know, the Pikarom comes up, knocks out our Heatran potentially. Or they would almost definitely use the GX attack if all of my energies on a Heatran. And then we can't take a knockout on the Pikarom on the next turn, which is not good. That's what we want to be able to knock out on that following turn. So it's a little bit better. Gives us some more options to work with. We have a ton of energy in play right now. We have 6 energy in play. We can get 3 more. We could have 9 energy in play. We only need 5 for Heatran to knock out the Pikarom. So we'd have so much more options on our following turn. There's a Zeraora from that quick ball there. They are down a lot of 5 energy down. Oh, it's going to be only 3 here with the Cocoa Prism used there. We're going to take 3 out of play though when we knock out this Pikarom. There's almost no way we don't knock out this Pikarom with Heatran next turn. They would need like a miracle here to prevent that. And this is why I kind of wanted to keep the Cramorant, because I know if you're playing against Pikarom, oof, that's a pretty good E-Power grab. You know Dedenne is going to be on your opponent's field at some point. Oh no, they whiffed, and so something like this, we could go knock out Jirachi, knock out Pikarom, knock out Dedenne. It's not that big of a deal because we do have the. Give me a second. I want to keep the Dedenne. We can give it the Hearth, get maximum energy in play here. We do have, yeah, if they can focus something down, I'm actually going to Welder 2 to the Victini here. I don't mind him having extra energy on him. And we're going to go ahead and throw another extra energy on this Jirachi. And then we're going to Energy Burst, yeah. Let's focus my Heatran. And we want to be safe for that. They can Tag Bolt here, which maybe I should have dug for the knockout on the Pikarom. They can Tag Bolt. They do need a lot. We would have needed a lot off the steady change. We need the Vulpix and 2 energy to work with after already using Hearth. I could have weathered 1 first, then Hearth attached. This ends up with 1 more energy in play, but it is on my active, so it's not super safe to begin with. But they are down to E-Switch, so chance of them pulling it off I think is not super high. They can do it though. They'd be able to draw 4 prize cards here and here, but they'd be out of energy in play, and then we could easily respond with Heatran and knock out the Pikarom. So I don't think I'd be that scared. We do play a reset stamp as well, so we get that stamp combo with that. We'd be in a pretty good spot. Still, I think there's a great catcher. All right, my Heatran is almost certainly going down here. Makes sense. Heatran's pretty good in this position. Might as well take him out on my opponent's side. There's really no reason not to. There is a Raichu, but we're going to be looking to go knock out this Pikarom and then knock out its Dedenne. And that's why Cramorant's so nice, because it helps us just get those Dedenne knockouts so easily. Sure, we can use Ninetales, but Ninetales could get knocked out. Or we could just not find the energy for like Welder to a Pokemon plus the energy to use the Ninetales if we get Marnied or Stamped. So it does become difficult. They'd have the double E-Power this turn now to KO my Heatran. But this is why you play 2 Heatran in this list. Now, it's like your best early game attacker with the Steaming Stomp if you just want to be aggressive early on. And then it's also the best GX attack in the deck with the, or the only GX attack in the deck at this point with the Hot Burn GX. Being able to one-shot anything if you have enough energy in play, which is what you try and build up into. There's a Ninetales top deck. That's pretty good. Gonna go ahead and try and Hearth away the Jirachi. Thankfully, they didn't take that out of play. Yep, other Heatran is in there. We only have 3 Pokemon search cards though, but we do have a Dedenne change. We do have a Welder. Yeah, we should be able to get it here. And if not, we can take the knockout with the Victini. Another Vulpix. Yeah, we should be able to take the knockout here with Victini if we whiff. We'd much rather do it with Heatran, save Victini for later though. Let's see what we get here. There's the Heatran. We are all good. So we're just gonna grab a Heat Factory. We'll draw power on the next turn if we need it. Retreat. We want to like grab all this energy that is on these dudes. 3, 4, 5. Move all up to the Heatran, and then oops, Hot Burn GX. Almost click Steam and Stomp. Don't do that. It's not what we want to use at all. We have 3 energy left in the deck. Here's another one, so that's 4 energy to work with. We got Victini lined up here, but we have way too much energy in play to use Victini. How much energy do we have? We have only 3 in the discard pile, but if they knock out my Victini V or knock out the Heatran, that would put 5 in the discard, and I could retreat either of them for +3/+2. We could have also moved all this energy up to Heatran. That would have been a little bit awkward, I guess, though. We can also, but if they leave enough energy in play, we can just utilize it with Turtonator. So, I mean, yeah, no matter what, pretty much, we're in a good spot here. They have to pretty much reset Stampus at this point to, yeah, there it is. There's the reset stamp. They have to pretty much reset Stampus at this point to have a chance. And yeah, there's the reset stamp. We got to switch. We got Victini. Hearth is still in play. They definitely need to try and replace that if they can. It's possible that their stadium's prized, though, and they just don't have the choice to, because that'll give us an out to Gust with the Ninetales. We're currently in energy short from Victini knocking out a Dedenne, so if we top deck an energy, I guess this would be 9, so we do knock out the Raichu actually, because there's 5 on us, 4 on them. It's 9, 270, so they have a big, they need a big charm for the Raichu. There's Tandem Shock though. We have a switch, so we're just going to switch into the Victini, and then that should just be game. Switch into Victini, and big old energy burst with 5 energy, knock out the Raichu, and we're going to take this first dub over our opponent's Pikarom deck. Won the coin flip here. We are going to choose to go second because we want the option to be a little bit more aggressive with our attack on our turn. Ooh, this is not a ridiculously good hand. We could just get a Revenge Blast off turn 1, though. I'd be fine with that. And we do have that Soft Wool from the Double Wool that offers him a little bit of protection. Reduces the damage he takes by 30, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I want to try and use Heatran to get attack early on. I guess Double Wool does about the same thing, so I don't mind attacking with the Double Wool this turn either. Or if we want to attack with the Victini V to set up a bunch of energy in play. Looks like we're up against another Pikarom. I feel like I hit like doubles of decks very often when I make these videos. All right, up against the Pikarom. Takes a lot for Full Blitz to KO the Double Wool. Even a Tag Bolt would take double E power, so they're not in a great spot to actually knock my dude out. There's a big charm to the Pikarom. That's why we want that Tool Scrapper sometimes. You know, we'll see what we top deck, see what our opponent does here, and then kind of decide where we go from here. We might just go into Victini V if we have the option. Go ahead, calm away Ninetales, grab the Dedenne, gonna put the Hearth in play and then just Dedenne change. Hearth in play and Dedenne change. Here we go. 6 new cards. Found a Jirachi. Want to try and keep Cramorant like I talked about last game. We can just switch into a Victini V though, which seems a little bit better. I'm gonna start with this no matter what. Victini V is in the deck, so I think just switching to Victini V, get a bunch of energy in play is gonna be the way to go. We already have 4 in there, but I can't think of better stuff to get rid of than just another energy. I think it's just another energy here. It doesn't feel ridiculously good. And it might be a mistake overall to get rid of that energy, but we're going with it. I will bench a Jirachi just in case they do knock out my Victini V. That is what I would want to set up. And then Spreading Flames. Once again, keeping the energy spread out. We could put 2 on Double Wool, I guess. It's pretty safe there with the Soft Wool. He's pretty tanky. And it would mean I can have something to attack with for sure next turn at the very least. Yeah, and we're looking for that, what's it called at this point? We don't have actually any way to attack with the Heatran at all yet, so we're almost kind of, I'm not hoping my opponent knocks me out, but I wouldn't be, I wouldn't complain if my opponent knocked me out, so I get access to Cellar, which hopefully find a Heatran, Welder, Dedenne, knock out the Pikarom on the next turn. We'll take a full 6 energy because they do have that big charm, but that's not really that big of a deal. And then from there, just got to figure out how we get our last 3 prize cards. Probably looking at using Victini V at some point. Or maybe we're knocking out Boltund or something. They got the double E power, I believe. Well, that's 1, so maybe not yet. There's an energy to the Pikarom. Go Prism and Dedenne change. All right, not yet. Do not have that second. I believe one of these may hit the discard pile turn 1, so they're still looking for a second E power to get the Full Blitz knockout on my Victini. If they whiff, that would be a huge deal. If they hit, it's not really that unexpected. They're just gonna see quite a few cards this turn, so if they hit it, it's really not that unexpected. All right, there's the Raichu grab. It's pretty big. And if we one-shot our the Pikarom with our GX attack, there's our boss's orders as well. Oof. We definitely don't want to deal with that on our next turn. Actually, I think they've already played Volkner, which should be good. Yeah, they got the attack for sure. The question just kind of is, do they get the knockout on my Victini V? There we go. Bolton set up. Pikarom set up. There's a Raichu. Maybe. Yes. No. Are they coming in with the full blitz? Yeah, only 180. So that gives us a lot of room to work with. If we can actually get an attack off this turn. Raichu is set up. Our top deck is Turtonator. That actually works for us, but we need the energy. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Oh, it doesn't work for us that well, though. Yeah, this is not ridiculously good. I'm going to take these. I'm going to attach active. I'm going to retreat to the Jirachi. Use the Stellar Wish to switch and a stamp. Neither of which are very good at all for us right here and don't really do anything. Oh no, this one's going downhill real fast. I'm gonna take the switch. I'm gonna switch back into the Victini V, just kind of give him up. And pass to my opponent. Uh-oh. So what does our game plan become? We got to pretty much hit a welder off the Jirachi and hope we don't get tag bolted this turn. If we get tag bolted this turn from our opponents, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Other things I could have done on my turn is I could have just used Energy Burst. Could have just hit him up for 150, set up that 2-shot. But I really wanted to dig for the Heatran there, try and get a 1-shot this turn. We really just have, yeah, we had nothing in the hand, nothing to work with, unfortunately. And yeah, it's going to be rough from here. We did, even if we thought we hard retreated the energy, we did have Tool Scrapper in the deck. So even if we just had hit this for 250 with the Heatran, we would have set it up so we could either Scrapper it this turn if we had just seen like a Dedenne or Welder drawn more cards, or we could just scrap it on the next turn. So it was a pretty, still pretty decent, I think, to dig for that Heatran. We didn't need like Welder into Heatran or Dedenne into Welder into Heatran, whatever, but would have been able to hit it hard enough that Scrapper would have been able to remove the big charm either this turn if we had seen it or the next turn, and get us that knockout. Here comes a Volkner. I'm just hoping that they don't have like a tag switch tag bolt here. I'm scared of tag bolt here. I'm not really scared of anything else. Tag ball is the only thing I fear. We don't really have a way to deal with getting tag bolted at this moment. There's an E-Power. It's just gonna be the full blitz knockout. All right, deal with this. This is not that big of a deal. All right, gonna set up the Jirachi here. Go ahead, Jirachi. Now our game plan is gonna be knock out Pikarom, knock out the Raichu. I think there's the Heatran. We need him to knock out the. Well, we could just use the Turtonator at this point, actually. How much energy do we have in here? We have quite a few energy left, but if we Deadeye change, we might want access to the Hearth. It's a Heat Factory. All right, so we may as well just go ahead and Giant Hearth right now. Only 5 energy left in the deck. Oh, no. All right, we pretty much have to see a Welder off this Heat Factory, I feel like. If we get a Deadeye change, it's not going to end super well. It is the Welder. All right, that's good to see. Welder to the Turtonator. 1, 2, 3. We got the escape board. We got the attach. All right, we got the knockout. We have a reset stamp. I kind of want to save the stamp for the following turn once they go a little bit lower on prize cards, I feel like. Did not get a Vulpix. But we should be in an okay spot here. We're kind of bouncing back. Yeah, save the stamp for the next turn. Explosive Jet. 4, 5, 6. Also getting all 6 in the discard pile now means our opponent can't ignore my Heatran and not put those energy on Heatran in the discard pile, lessening the damage of my Victini Prism. Not Victini V. I think I said Victini V earlier. I meant Victini Prism. They can't lessen the damage of my Victini Prism by not knocking out my Heatran. So they have to not. That means I just put all the energy in the discard pile. They can't ignore it. It's all there. We get to use it, basically. And that's what we want to try and accomplish. Next turn, I mean, they're going to knock out. If they knock out Turtonator here, that's pretty good for us because that puts them on the odd prizes. I'm sure they want to go ahead and knock out the Dubwool or the Dedenne. Dedenne super easy to take a knockout on here, just so they don't have to go on to that odd prize exchange, which no one really wants to go on. And then we're going to try and go Victini, knock out the Bolton, which I'm sure is what they're going to attack with. Knock out the Bolton and then look to knock out Jirachi or something with. Just need to get ourselves the what's it called at that point? Get ourselves. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank here. It's in my head. The Ninetales. We need to get the Ninetales. That's what we're missing right here. Is Ninetales. That's like the big card we're missing at this point. Is the Ninetales. If we get that, we're chilling for sure. There's an energy onto a Dedenne. You don't see that very often. Setting up for that static shock. Really probably just spreading out the energy so the Bolton doesn't have too much, or no Pokemon has too much energy on it, so Bolton can hit that much harder consistently no matter what I take out. So that makes sense. But yeah, that's our game plan. We're gonna try and one-shot whatever our opponent sends up with the Victini. We're almost knocking out. We need one more energy in the discard pile, and we actually knock out the Raichu. So if they attack with Raichu, we can probably get that knockout with a Victini V this turn. That's fine if they attack with Raichu to me. I'm okay with that. We'll see what they actually go with here. I think we have 4 energy left in deck, or maybe 5. We maybe have 5. Yeah, it's 4 or 5 left in deck to work with. There's that Great Catcher. Like I said, they want to be knocking out a 2-prize Pokemon here. So yeah, we have to Victini V because that's a 1-prize Pokemon. We'll also stamp them low, so hopefully they can't pull off a combination of cards that can knock out our Dubwool. Yeah, we don't have, like I also said, we don't have the Vulpix this turn, or this last turn. We didn't get the Vulpix in place, so we cannot Ninetales this turn, which means we can't go after this Raichu. If we did get the Vulpix in play, we could go for the win on this Raichu next turn, but unfortunately, no. Thankfully, they didn't have a stamp there. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't have a reset stamp there, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Don't mind a little bit of extra help. There's a Vulpix for the turn afterwards. That could be a big deal. We definitely need to reset stamp our opponent. I definitely want to replace their stadium. We need to calm away the Heatran to get the Victini. I'm gonna go ahead and Hearth away the Pokegear. I think it has to be the Pokegear. And then I want Flint to be able to recover energy after we use what's his face, the Victini with the Infinity. All right, 2 Ninetales in deck. All right, so grab these. I'm gonna go ahead and calm away the Heatran because we want Vulpix for the next turn to get around Raichu potentially. I don't really want to knock out or attempt to knock out Raichu. Could also, no, if they knock out Victini, Dubwool would hit pretty hard, so we'd be fine with this situation, I think. All right, Welder to the Victini. Save Flint for the turn after. Stellar Wish. Have a Quick Ball. All right, bench of Vulpix. Treat and Infinity for the knockout on this Bolton. Hope our opponent does not have a Gust effect and knock out our Dubwool. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of showing the unfortunate part of opening the Dubwool. Maybe we didn't choose to, but he did become our active Pokemon because it's not very good to have at this point in the game. He doesn't do a whole ton for us. Here's a Stellar Wish. They have a couple Stellar Wishes to work with here. If they get themselves a boss's orders, they can just bring up our Dubwool and knock it out. All right, looks like we're going to 1-1 against the Pikarom here, as our opponent is going to be taking the knockout on our Dubwool with the boss's orders. I'm sure they're just reading his ability, making sure they take the knockout there. And yeah, retreat. They do 250 damage. We effectively have 240 HP. Opening the Dubwool, didn't use it all game. Gonna be the killer for us here in the end. Oh well. Take an L here in the second one, and I hope you guys enjoy these games with the Firebox. I think the deck did go quite a bit better. I think the Eldegoss is a huge boost to the deck because all those quick balls, all those comms in the deck become outs to finding a welder, which they weren't before, which is a big deal for finding welders. Especially now that, or just helps the consistency of the deck a ton, having be able to find that extra welder. Palpad, not as easy to find. Be able to find that Eldegoss, just have it become a welder. Once we have found our first welder, I guess, it's super good for the deck. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to subscribe. Have a good day. Thanks for watching, and peace.